Welcome back to another episode of the Ryan Holtz Show podcast. Listen, this is the show where you come for the culture, the immersive, the growth, the education, the entrepreneurship, what's going on in the world. Listen, all things. Wow. Listen, Netflix, The Reckoning, Diddy documentary produced by Mr. Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent. Wow. We posted a short on our YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, go to youtube.com/Ryan Holtz and subscribe. Literally over 2 million views on this short. And one of the highlights of the documentary was Mark Curry, which is one of the former Bad Boy artists, that's basically saying, giving an example of how he wrote the song that was featured in Godzilla, and how Diddy actually kind of, Kermit the Frog out of it. And why this is such a crazy moment is just you see the contrast of, what Diddy was trying to show he had for talent and what some of the people in his closest circle seen that he had for talent, or lack thereof, allegedly. But if you haven't watched the documentary, go watch the doc. Again, Mark Curry is a highlight of it simply because he shows a lot of humor, but he shows the contrast of artists not getting paid and just this shell that Diddy was really trying to push out to the world to really, kind of, make him seem a little bit better, and I'm being nice, than he actually was. But if you haven't seen the documentary, there's a couple points. I did the homework, so you don't have to. But I want to go over a couple key points on this because, I'm a critic when it comes to documentaries. And I honestly thought prior to watching this that this was just going to be a simple hit piece. And it wasn't. It was anything but. It was a true documentary. 50 Cent pull out footage that Diddy's own videographer was using to record. Now, allegedly, we figured out who actually was able to attain and how 50 Cent was able to attain the footage. And it was because Diddy did not actually pay his videographer and did not sign a contract with the videographer that was rolling around, which meant that, hey, the videographer said, look, there's no contract and I didn't get paid. So if somebody wants to offer me some money for the footage, I'm going to do it. And I think that's how 50 Cent allegedly got the footage. So it opens up with this footage, by the way. And right then and there, I thought, this is it. This is amazing. Like, who got the footage? So number one, Janice Combs. Wow. The apple does not fall far from the tree. And everything that Diddy has been accused of and what he's been convicted of, you can really see that Janice kind of exposed him to a lot of different things back in the days of his childhood that no child should really be seeing. And so I think you see a lot of that carrying over into his adulthood. Number two, that he was always obsessed about taking, some girl from their man. And so when he seen a girl who was with a successful guy, he really wanted to always take her. There's a long history of this going back from, Andre Harrell all the way to, Ryan Leslie. There's just a repeated pattern here. Number three, it was really interesting. Andre Harrell was really his mentor and brought him into Uptown Records as an intern, which really kind of gave him the platform, especially going over into A&R like he did. So again, think about this, Andre Harrell, he no longer is here. There's a trend here. Number four, 50 Cent, we're joking that he's petty. I don't think he's really petty. He's really exposing the truth here. And if you go online right now, it's just an absolute storm of what is happening because of this documentary. Diddy allegedly sent a cease and desist to Netflix saying, take this down, but Netflix fired back saying, nope, we obtained all the footage legally and we're within our rights. So very interesting there. The unaliving, Heavy D, Kim Porter, Pac, Biggie, everybody around this guy seems to disappear or become unalived through mysterious circumstances, which ultimately points a finger back to him saying, hey, how much was he willing to do to really get to the stardom that he really wanted? There's a part in the documentary that really goes over the fact of how he wanted to have the biggest funeral for Biggie and then actually charged Biggie's own estate for the funeral, which was just a jaw-dropping moment because it really shows you how just diabolical this person is. But further to that, months later, years later, he's dancing to I'll Be Missing You, and he's dancing on the stage in this all white, so happy when the song is dedicated to his supposed friend and artist who just passed away, then has the audacity to hop on a song with Biggie's, ex-wife, which is Faith Evans. And, again, just showing that contrast there, painting it out. The last point I'll make about all this is that, there was two jurors that were featured in the Netflix special, and juror I believe is I want to say 130, or sorry, it could be 160. Juror 160. She was the black lady, and she clearly was a fan. And so a lot of people now are speculating that, could this trial get, retried, because obviously the jury was tainted. It's very clear as day that she was a fan of Diddy and said that, her and him were making eye contact, and he was doing the same head movements that, was going on with making the band and all these things. So, I think there's a lot more to come on this. 50 Cent also drew to the fact of Biggie and Tupac's unaliving. Suge Knight, Keefe D's going on trial, was supposed to be February 26th. Now it's got pushed back to August sometime. But there's a lot of new evidence in this that's really pointing at Diddy. So we're going to see how that transpires, especially that he's, currently incarcerated, and how that projects and goes out. There's just a lot. And that's why I think this episode is warranted, because I want to really cover this trial, because it shows the dynamics of, culture. It shows the dynamics of talent. It shows the dynamics of entrepreneurship, music, but it also shows, the dangers of having the wrong people around you, but it also shows you the dangers of being jealous. When somebody's jealous of somebody, they will go to, there is no limits that they will do. And Diddy clearly wanted to be a performer rather than a producer. But, even Lil Rod said in the documentary, it took him 7 months to do 8 bars. And so it just shows, again, there was no real talent. He was almost a grifter on his own artist. So, watch The Reckoning, check it out. I would include some footage here, but I don't want to run the risk of that, especially with YouTube, because we don't have rights to the Netflix clips, and I know they're pretty crazy about that. But check it out. It's all over the internet. And again, drop a comment. Please subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned, locked in for more. We visited Biggie's place. We got a lot of great interviews coming up. We got a lot of great interviews all over the place in terms of culture, in terms of business and things like that, and really kind of dialing into the pulse of what's going on to the world right now. So, curiosity should always be your mandate, but remember, we love you. Team Holtz is here. We are coming to the holiday season. We're going to be doing our episode. I got Mrs. Holtz going to come on the mic, because, we got to do our annual, Christmas, holidays, New Year's Ryan Holtz Show podcast episode. So stay tuned for that. But other than that, drop a comment, let us know. And wow, go check the short that we posted on YouTube. 2 million plus views. The comments will have you rolling on the floor in pure laughter. Much love, everybody.
We're so glad you enjoyed this episode of the Ryan Holtz Show podcast. Please don't forget to smash that 5-star review, as Team Holtz will love you for it. Also, say hi to Ryan anywhere on social media using the handle @RyanHoltz1. That's RyanHoltz, the number 1. And if you or your business is looking to expand your brand, book a brand jam with Ryan using the link in the show notes.